England won, Romania 0 in what is our last game before the Euro 2021 tournament kicks off in just 5 days. 2 wins out of 2 so far, 3 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. A cause for celebration or a cause for concern? We'll be discussing all of that and more coming up now. Now hold the phones, hold the back pages, and hold every goddamn newspaper under the sun. Because before we get into what's going on the pitch, I want to have a little look at the squad with you. There's a few things we need to discuss. And most importantly, this trifecta right here. Ward Prowse, White and Godfrey. Now, yes, of course, they're fantastic players. And in any other international friendly, I'd have no problems with Gareth Southgate throwing these guys a few minutes of game time. However, this is just moments before the tournament, moments before we play Croatia. It is the last opportunity this squad has to play together before Croatia. Godfrey is not going to be there. Ben White is not going to be there. And James Ward Prowse is also not going to be there. You need to get your squad stable before a tournament. You need to play the players that are going to be playing in the tournament. And this was the whole problem with the 33-man squad. I said it, you said it, we all bloody said it. Why has he picked a 33-man squad? Why is he compensating for all these players that aren't going to be there when it comes to crunch time? I love these guys, don't get me wrong. I think they're great players. In fact, James Ward Prowse was one of England's best players today. And for me, I'd like to see more players that are going to play in the tournament starting the game. I know there are a few players that have come back from either the Europa League or the Champions League final that need a little bit more rest time, a little bit more rest and recuperation. But still, there were plenty of players there, like Jude Bellingham came off the bench. Why is he not starting? Why are you not getting him some more game time for England, just in case you do need to call upon him in the tournament? Why not get him some more minutes? Why play James Ward Prowse, who is not going to be there at all? And look, speaking of James Ward Prowse, like I said, I feel like he was one of England's best players today. He looked composed, he was running the midfield, he had a very good partnership with Calvin Phillips going there. Calvin Phillips was doing more of the dog work, which allowed James Ward Prowse to sit back, get the ball from deep, start spraying his passes around. He was coming forward with the ball a bit better. He looked composed. It looked one of the better performances I've seen from him in an England shirt. And speaking of hitting the woodwork, speaking of some of our best performances, Jadon Sancho really put his name on the map today. There's been all this discussion. Do you start Foden? Do you start Sterling? Do you start Mount? Do you start Grealish? Do you start Rashford? Do you start Mason Greenwood when he was there? Or do you start Jadon Sancho? For me, I had him about 4th on the pecking list. I had him just behind Grealish, I had him just behind Foden, and I had him just behind Sterling, just based on this season's performance. Of course, in the second half of the season, Jadon Sancho has turned it around. He's looking like the Jadon Sancho of last year. However, what I will say about Jadon Sancho is so far in his England career, he hasn't really performed the same way he has for club level. However, today, it was a different story. He looked energetic, he was getting the ball, he was making runs in behind, which was helping to spread the defence. When he did make those runs, he ended up retrieving the ball. Very, very good control. He was taking it in and out. He was causing them a lot of problems. So now that has thrown a complete spanner in the works. Who would you put in your front three for England? Would you do a front four like we kind of did today with the 4-2-3-1? I think that's our best shout, because then you can squeeze 4 attackers in there. As we've seen, Grealish also pushed into that central attacking midfield role, and everyone thought he was going to have to occupy one of the 2 wing roles. So it does expand our options. But if we could only pick 3 forwards, who are you picking? I'm pretty sure Kane's going to be up front for everyone. And who's going to be on the wings for you? What is your 3 going to be? For me, like I said, it has to be Sterling, Kane and Foden. But I really want to put Sancho in there now. I really want to squeeze Sancho in, especially after that last performance. He just looks too good. He offers things that other people don't. He's so dynamic. He's so quick. He's so sharp. What a player. We did, of course, steal the win in the second half with a penalty, which was coolly, calmly and calculatedly slotted away by Calvert-Lewin. Lewandowski. Lovely finish into the bottom right corner. Could have made it 2. We had a second penalty, which Calvert Lewandowski actually won this time before Jordan Henderson fluffed his lines and hit it straight into the keeper's hands. Didn't disguise it enough, didn't put enough panache on the finish, and it was very easy to read in the end. But is that scary for you? Because what was our concerns last year in the tournament? We couldn't break teams down from open play. All of our goals are coming from set pieces. Harry Kane, out of his 6 goals that he scored in his Golden Boot run, 4 of them were penalties. One of them came flicking off the end of his heel, and the other one was a cross in and a header in the last second from a corner. And the same thing happened again today. We struggled to break them down. We relied on penalties. We struggled to break Austria down. Granted, we didn't rely on penalties for those goals, but we still struggled to break them down. We've scored 3 goals against Austria and Romania. If we're going to come up against teams like France, Spain, Germany, Portugal, we're going to need to be more clinical than that. We're going to need to break these teams down better. Is it expansive enough for your liking? Is it very worrying that we only just managed to edge past these teams? Or, on the other hand, are you happy that we kept 2 clean sheets? Of course, a problem for us in the past has been very shaky defensive performances in the World Cup. I mean, you look at the 4-2 against Germany, Upson, and his absolutely tragic performance there. You look at the way that Croatia were able to manhandle us. Of course, you do have to look at the fact that this team is not the team that's going to be playing in the tournament. There are a lot of players there that missed out. The likes of John Stones, the likes of Harry Maguire, the likes of Kyle Walker, the likes of Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden. These players that bring experience, that know how to win things. That could change the dynamics of the team. But if it doesn't, and we do set up this defensively, and we do look this unimaginative, then there's serious problems on the horizon for us if we can't fix our ideas up in front of goal. But that's dwelling on the negatives. There's a lot of positives to take into this, and we can't forget that. We can't just not look at any of the good things we did. We did look a lot more expansive in this game than we did against Austria. We did look a lot more quicker on the ball. The passing play was a lot better. Calvin Phillips really developed the side in that midfield role. He was spraying some beautiful passes around. A few 30-40 yard pitches to Sancho and Rashford. A few tenacious challenges, the likes of the ones we've been seeing at Leeds, running the show, stopping the midfield runners from coming through. There was a lot of that today. It's a lot more of a positive outlook than I had after that Austria game, but still not enough for my liking. Not good enough for my liking. There's still a few cracks in the team which we can only hope that can be ironed out when these elite professionals come in and help to bolster the squad. But what do you guys think? How do you rate our chances going forward? And what is the main takeaway you have from these 2 friendlies we just played? As always, if you did end up enjoying the video, then a like would always be appreciated. And if you do want to stay up to date with any more England content, any more football content, then be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more uploads. But I do thank you so much for watching, guys. It's a pleasure as always, and I'll see you in the next one.